Hey guys, happy 2024. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Tanya and this is Crochet Schoolhouse, TLDR. It's an ongoing fundraiser for my kids' school, and one of these days I'll have to do a town tour and give you all the smaller details. Before we get into it, if you would like to comment down below on your favorite yarn type or yarn brand for amigurumi and where you pick it up, I'm always in the mood to kind of shop around. I myself am a huge Joann fan. I love their sales and their coupons, especially their curbside pickup. And that's kind of why the two major brands that I use are Big Twist and Bernat. I've got their Big Twist value yarn here today for comparison with their Bernat Velvet. This is the brand new, the reason for the video, the Big Twist Posh. I've got some Bernat blanket. It's one of my primaries. And last but not least, I guess not last but not least, I can't count, Big Twist Plush. And the big Bernat Extra. So these are some of the yarns that I had lying around. So before we get too into it, the worsted weight, these are just over a pound, 17.6 ounces, and it's $11.99 regular. I almost never pay full price. We have the velvet, which is $11.99 for a 10.5 ounce skein. We have the Posh, which is a little bit more on the expensive side. This is $9.99, but for only 7 ounces. The blanket yarn is $11.99 for 10.5 ounces. Big Twist Plush is another $11.99 for 10.5 ounces. And finally, the Bernat blanket, also $11.99 for 10.5 ounces. But what I have done is I have made up a couple possums to kind of show the difference between all of the different yarns. So here I've got the worsted weight possum, the Bernat velvet possum, as well as the Big Twist Posh possum. So this is my worsted weight possum. Super cute. I would charge about $10 for him at a market. Me being fundraising for an elementary school, people tend to be a little bit more forgiving on my prices because 100% of the profit goes to the schools. So for the worsted weight possum, the yarn price by itself was about 21 cents. The polyfill and the eyes were about 9 cents. So the velvet yarn here, oh, and I used a hook size 3.5 for this little guy. 3.5. The velvet here, he needs bigger eyes. I'll admit that. But he was another 3.5. Looks like I kind of overfilled him just a skosh. He cost me 58 cents in yarn and 15 cents for the polyfill and the eyes. This is the Posh. This is the new yarn. I really like this texture. I really like how close and all of the stitches are. The colors are really pretty. So this guy was 73 cents to make with 23 cents worth of polyfill and eyes. I think he's the cutest of these three. Alright, so we'll bring in the Bernat blanket possum and the the Big Twist Plush. So Homeboy here, he is the Bernat blanket yarn. I used a size 6 hook. This is my Plush from Big Twist, and he is a size 7. Now both of these I would probably charge about $20 each at a market, and the blanket cost me $1.72 in yarn and 38 cents in polyfill and eyes. And the Plush cost me about $2.62 in yarn and 56 cents in polyfill and the eyes. I've gotten feedback from locals that the coloration of the pink nose, that the blanket is more accurate. I honestly think that the darker pink is cuter, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's the customer, so whatever. All right, last but not least, I've got my giant, ridiculous Bernat blanket extra. Now, I used a 16 hook on this, and it is way too large. I need a smaller hook. My current hook selection goes from 11 to 16, but this guy, he's nice and fluffy. I know you can't really see him too well, a little too zoomed in, but he makes a really nice pillow, and when you add them all together, they make a nice little display with the possum family. Last time I had this guy, I had him with 3 others, and the whole set sold for $90. It was him, a worsted weight, and a blanket, and it looked like this cute little trio. So I think by himself I could probably get $40, but I really want to work out this hook size because this is a little extreme. All right, well, let's get into the yarns. So these are my 3 thinner yarns here. This is just a standard worsted weight yarn. I can't really snap it if I wanted to. Requires scissors. Like I said, I was using a 3.5 for this one before on my amigurumi. Here I have the velvet yarn from Bernat. It's nice and soft, kind of shiny in the light. One of my disappointments is just how easily it sheds. Not a huge fan of that. It shouldn't be that easy. Makes it hard to sew. Very easy to snap. Here's the Posh yarn. This is the new big twist. See if you can get some texture in there. It's very soft. It kind of feels spongy. It doesn't shed. Huge plus. Sews extremely well. Does snap, but it took a little bit more than the velvet for sure. Alright, and these are my 3 larger yarns. This is the Bernat blanket yarn. It's beautiful. It's kind of fuzzier. It's not as spongy as I would like. Sometimes you get a Bernat blanket yarn, and usually if it's the old texturizing, it's really spongy and kind of needs a hook size up. Doesn't really shed, kind of sheds. Not as bad as the velvet. Again, really easy to snap. That's something I have to work on personally because I end up tearing my hands up. This is the Big Twist Plush. This is a little bit on the fluffier side. There tends to be a flat side and then the wider side. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the actual texture of it is not necessarily all even. This does not hold up to the shedding test. This sews really well though, and this one snaps as well. Alrighty, clean this up a little bit, my goodness. And last but not least, here we have the extra, the blanket extra. This one 100% sheds. This sucks to sew with. It's a little ridiculous. The magic rings never work out. I have to do the worsted yarn trick with this. Snaps, has absolutely zero fight back on the snap. So, not necessarily my favorite thing to work with, but the larger the amigurumi, the bigger the attention it gathers at a market, and it may not be the thing that somebody purchases, but it's the thing that brings them to your table. So that's something that I've kind of had to work with and learn and accept. Overall, I think my favorite 2 of what I have right now is the Bernat blanket and the Posh, actually. I'm a huge fan of it. I like the way it feels. I like the way it looks. I think that these 2 here are by far my favorite little possums of the crew. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that this is such a stark white face. I do wish that they had more of an off-white. I feel like it would get dirty really easily, but aside from that, that's just a taste preference. The yarn itself works really well. It's really pretty, it's really soft. I have a feeling that it's something that I'm going to be working with for a while, so I hope that you agree with me, and if you don't, leave me a comment as to why. And I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.